You can use it, you cannot use it, but if you're not using it, somebody else is using it, and they're gonna get ahead of you.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Lucky Go podcast. Today, I am joined by Adam and Kyle. I'm your host, Aiken, and today we'll be talking about AI in film.
Oh God, that's a big one, dude.
We're out of a job,
I'm
guys.
scared.
I want to start this conversation out by asking you guys, well, one, do you guys use AI for your job?
Yes, I for one do use AI for my job.
Yes.
Okay, for me as well, I do use AI for my job. I'm a producer, by the way. Adam's a director. Kyle also is the director. And how do you guys use AI?
Okay, so at least for me, the first way that I introduced it into my workflow was really within like administrative tasks, whether it's just doing emails and stuff, just helping me during pre-production as well, especially since I'm not a producer, you know, just taking on tasks like that and kind of almost using it as like a teammate in a way, or just another person that you're working with, whether you're bouncing ideas off of it or just you need to write up a contract or something like that really quickly. Super useful.
It's great for contracts.
It's amazing.
It'll get you like a good like starting ground.
Yeah.
I've used it many times for contracts. But
I've used it in very specific ways to draft, like where I think I should start an email. I'll explain the situation. It's like, I'm this age and I'm doing this kind of production with this kind of crew. Here's a bit of like how their character traits are. I'm trying to write an email with this intention. What's a good starting point? And then it gives me like a bullshit fucking whatever. Yeah. And then I just take that. I'm like, okay, let me pull some things from this. Now I got the start of where I want to go with this. Yeah. In terms of an editing workflow, I've used generative fill more times than I can remember.
Yeah, dude.
Whether it's for photography or if you have a static wide and you want to extend the set, we've done it with our Cyclo here quite a few times for different projects. You just extend, the borders of a solid color background.
Yeah, there's generative fill in Photoshop, but also After Effects. They have, I think, generative expand or something like that, or content aware fill, which is another really cool use of it.
Premiere just implemented something too, where it could extend the
clips.
End or start of your clip.
I've never used it, but
me either. But I see the button there and I'm like, I wonder, but I don't want to fuck up the project, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, there's some scary stuff you can do with it. Another great use for it that I use a lot actually is Topaz. So resolution upscaling, frame rate upscaling, noise reduction, like all these different things. It's amazing for it.
Noise reduction is big.
Noise reduction is huge.
I remember back in the day, and this isn't that long ago, but remember the jump from DVD to Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Selling point was like the upscale to 4K, like UHD quality for a lot of old releases. It's like, okay, well now, like if I feel like it, I could probably do that for my bedroom with like old videos, I burn a copy of an old DVD and I want to upscale the resolution, and you know
what's really kind of creepy about the whole upscaling thing is nowadays you're seeing a lot of like old-timey footage, right? That's getting upscaled. Like you'll see footage from like World War II or 1920s
something. Montreal colored.
And it's colored. It's like in 1080. I'm like, what am I watching, dude?
Like yesterday I was on Sora, I was just scrolling what people had generated, and it's you see a bunch of that. Dude, like old portraits.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's scary, man. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
I think that is
it's cool,
incredible to see.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I would say though, like I'm talking specifically now for like generating video. If I'm going back to like Sora and all these other platforms where you can use Midjourney. Exactly, Midjourney. And every time I scroll through like sample videos that they have, I never really think like, oh, I can use this for like a project, right? Or I can like generate something.
There's always something. There's always something that catches your eyes. Like, that's generate.
I think it's yes. There's always something. I think the one thing that's cool about it when I scroll through it is like for concepts. Sometimes like I don't know if it's the prompt or like, but the way that it generates it might be an interesting concept. But I never think the quality of it will fit in a project.
Well, it's great
Now,
for referencing.
Yeah, 100%, exactly that.
Look
Yeah,
at
and
the
inspo.
topic of storyboard.
Yeah,
you know?
You guys are saying that, but nowadays, like, it's sneaking into actual productions a lot more.
I'm sure there's commercials I've seen in the past week that
Yes, I've seen
just
some.
off of that.
I've seen
look
some.
at I think Temu. Temu has completely AI
but
generated
even
campaigns.
bigger brands. I remember I was in a movie theater about a month or two ago, watching the ads. There was a Coca-Cola ad, full on Coca-Cola ad, bottom in small print. This ad was made using AI, and I was just
wild.
Yeah,
well, there's big companies.
I was like, oh, there goes my job, bro.
Yeah. Even in the workplace recently, I'm maybe we'll go more into this after, but I've had recent examples of like entire teams getting let go at major brands.
Yes.
So that they could outsource AI from fucking Pakistan for like $15K a year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like you let go of the talented people who can shape the vision for your brand because it's cheaper and faster to just get AI to do something that's probably going to be okay anyways.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like businesses will, like, it's business, you know, if they can get something that's like maybe not as good, but like for a third of the price, there's no convincing them, you know?
Yeah,
but
until everyone's doing it and it all looks the same.
It all looks the same,
garbage.
yeah. But I want to go back a bit on the topic of like generating video. And like, Adam, you kind of went on to like bring up the point I wanted to talk about, which is how confident are you guys that like the future of commercial, especially I'm talking specifically of commercial, specifically commercial. I don't want to touch narrative. I think that's a whole different conversation. But how confident are you guys in the future of commercial work? Knowing and seeing, you know, like that Coca-Cola.
Still knowing what I know and seeing what I've seen, I'd still say I'm fairly confident. There's a time and a place for it. 100%. It's going to get used. It's being used. Businesses are going to AI to make to do their branding and marketing. It's a fact, and it's going to continue, and it's going to just become more and more prevalent. But I do believe that the space that creators, like directors, DPs, people who craft these handmade projects, I think that space is still going to remain there for them, right? Certain brands want a certain look. Certain brands want a certain narrative, a certain whatever going on, right? So there's going to be use cases for both. And I think it's going to be a matter of learning to adapt and kind of live in a space where it's kind of all working. All can coexist, essentially, right? I think it's inevitable, but I'm fairly confident that my place is still secured.
I agree with most of what you said. I think it's more interesting to think about VFX and like rendering and asset work, and then also low budget voice acting. I think product shot marketing is also something that's up in the air. Anything that isn't exclusively reliant on like true human touch.
That'll
from as far as what we've seen, at least. And even, you know, we've done spec videos where we've used AI voice generation because we didn't have the time or budget to go find someone who has a old, mature, stoic, you know, cowboy kind of voice. And we've used that. We've tried that out. I think when you look at the I have to save money route of commercial work, it's probably going to be very prevalent. And where can I cut someone out and save time? You know, a storyboard artist, someone who does rotoscoping, someone who does like final sweep color correction. It's like all these things are becoming more and more present. I don't know to what extent like a takeover would happen, but it's definitely becoming part of a more streamlined workflow for things that have tighter timelines, which is usually commercial work.
I am of the opinion that commercial work will suffer a lot. I actually don't know how, it's hard to say, but like, I don't think, like the points that you raised, Adam, earlier about like there's brands and like people who will always want that human touch, and the same thing that you said, Kyle, you know, there's certain projects that require that. And I think like that will be always true for narrative, right? but for commercial, I see it very hard to sell that to these big corporations and brands that they can, one, save a lot of money, and two, I think more important than money is ease of process. Because if a whole company or an agency can work with two people that will generate everything through AI through maybe 75% accuracy, instead of working with a team of a whole production of like 25 people, that saves them a lot of headache too, right? So there's two sides to it. There's the money side, and then there's like the actual process.
Yes, of course, but it's gonna be a bit of both for sure. But also at the end of the day, an important thing that these brands need to think about is their relation to their customers base,
yeah.
right? Their target audience is a very, very important aspect to the numbers that they're bringing in at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So if they're putting stuff out there that is just completely missing the mark and is not at all in touch with what people want to see or expect from this brand,
the brand's gonna suffer.
The brand's gonna suffer.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think to a certain degree, yes, brands are going to incorporate that into their workflow, into their marketing, 100%. It's inevitable. It's already happening. We've seen it with major brands, like I said, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But I, for one, believe we still have our place. And touching back on what Kyle said, he was mentioning more specifics. And going back to that, 100%, like stuff like VFX, 3D being a very, very big one, right?
Yeah.
Voice acting, even potentially color grading, these smaller aspects of the big image, not to say that any of these departments are small, not by any means, right? Those are 100% probably going to be the first that production teams are going to look to outsource to AI, right?
Yeah. It also, in some ways, it does a lot when it's used as a tool to kind of even the playing field. Let's say you work in sound or image, and your image is noisy or your sound is dog shit. You may be lucky and have a software that can help you look better when you deliver your product to who's expecting your work to be good.
Right.
I think to put it,
using it as a tool in a way is I think still where we're at.
Yeah, and to put it simply, going off of what you just said, right now, as of right now, it's a tool more than a replacement. And I think for the foreseeable future, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But this stuff moves really fast, and it's still at such an early stage of its development that it's uncertain. But more than anything, I think it's going to lean towards being a tool.
I think,
fingers crossed, hopefully.
Part of me also wonders the timeline of improvement and then accessibility alongside that. The further that AI improves, how accessible is it going to remain? Are there, certain companies that are going to streamline and like plow through where we're at right now as a standard and take AI to the next level? But is it going to be gate kept and very unaffordable? And like, what's going to be the threshold of this website's free? You could do like 4 free designs, but then this one costs tons of money and it's great and everyone's using it, but like for how long? And then when's the next evolution? And then when's the next gatekeeping price going to drop?
And we're already seeing that as it is now, even when it comes to all these new platforms that come out, like you'll see like, hey, you have free credits afterwards, you got to pay. Even ChatGPT, for example, OpenAI, for the top version of ChatGPT, it's already like, I believe, $200 a month.
But that's like an enterprise level.
Yeah, that's still. But if that's what you're using it for, there's already this price tag.
For sure.
And that's just gonna keep going up and up and up.
Yeah.
But I think of another thing is that it's gonna become an internal aspect, right? People are gonna start building their own AI specific to their own brands.
To some degree, I haven't built an AI, but like if I'm going off of what you just said, like, and I use AI a lot in my workflow. Not to conceptualize like you guys are doing, but a lot of on the administrative tasks that I have as a producer, there's emails, constant emails, even conflict sometimes. Like the way that you were saying earlier, where like you can present a scenario of like you explain how, maybe this person is this type of person and this is what the past relationship has been, and now there's a conflict. What do you think is the best way to go about it?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that, just to have like some sort of framework. Like I use it a lot for all these things, And
by the way, don't use ChatGPT as your psychologist. That's not what we're getting at.
Absolutely not.
Disclaimer.
We're talking very like logically brained strategizing. You know, with funneling your approach through a AI model. Anyway, continue.
Thanks for bringing that up, Kyle.
I don't know where I was going with my point anymore, but yes, don't use it as your psychologist. Definitely not gonna help you.
And keep in mind, we've only spoken commercial. So
Yeah,
far.
Yeah.
We'll touch a bit about narrative in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, I was saying like AI is super helpful on the administrative side. One thing that I will say, this is very specific to other producers out there, if you are using ChatGPT or not, I would recommend it, is on the paid version, you can create projects. And I've done it before. For the paid version is like night and day. It's insane.
Don't tell me that.
It is absolutely insane. But yeah, you can create projects, and that's something that I've started doing. I showed Kyle the other day, but it's like you get to like input all your information. I've shared it like the pitch deck. I've shared it like email chains that I export, and I just put everything, upload all these files, and this AI now understands like this project. And but the reason I was bringing this entire thing up is like you were saying earlier, you know, people training AIs, that's going to become more and more prevalent. Not that I've done it, but this is an example of it. It's like the AI, ChatGPT, the one that I've been using for the past couple months. I've trained it to like think the way that I'm thinking, and it understands my role as an executive producer. You know?
It's funny, dude. You bring that up because I think last night I was just on. I got home late from studio. I was on ChatGPT, kind of troubleshooting. I was even troubleshooting some of the questions we were going to talk about on the podcast today. And one of the answers I gave earlier about storyboarding and upscaling is like that's solely like AI was like, okay, talk about some of the jobs that we'll start to see disappearing.
And
like
even the AI already knows. It's like,
I was like,
for these jobs first, man.
We're gonna take this one first.
But the way you're framing it is, I also prompted it because now I have an account with ChatGPT 4. I'm like, okay, like call me this. I'm not giving my like real name. Like I set up a different email. I'm like, I'm gonna see where I could keep my ties a bit distant. But like refer to me as
it knows
this.
everything about me.
I'm super nice to the AI, by the way. I always thank the AI. I'm like, yo, thank you so much, bro. Yeah, if you need a little 5-minute break,
it's a person, bro.
Yo, you can take a little break, man. Like you've done a lot.
The first couple prompts, I was like, okay, this is my role at like my 2 companies that I'm involved in, and this is, you know, day to day where my lens is supposed to be. So anything I ask you, 9 times out of 10, give me a response from that point of view and with that kind of critical thinking in play.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got you, no worries. And then it gave me a bunch of these emojis, and I was like, secondly, like, don't answer me with emojis. I don't want to see any emojis. Keep it punctual, like super fresh.
Man.
It was like, got it. I'll address you directly, straightforward. And I'm like, okay, cool. Not bad.
Yeah, it is very impressive. It's very impressive.
Talk to me like this. Call me that. It's like, wow.
Yeah, like you can almost shape it. You're not training a new AI from scratch, but like there's ways for you to shape it for ChatGPT or any AI
it's funny,
model
like,
that you're using.
Yeah.
How you can tailor like the tools that are coming out.
Exactly.
How you could personalize them.
Yeah.
It's still in a lens of like streamlining like the workflow of my brain in an administration way.
Yeah.
And of course, when it comes to producing too, it helps tons with logistics. It's like, this is my demographic. Give me a couple locations that fit like this theme.
Yeah.
And it throws you a starting list of like location scouting.
It's great. That's great.
Absolutely. Now, for people who are scared of using AI and like are kind of against it,
Yeah.
what do you guys think about that?
I get it. Fully get it.
Yeah, especially as a creative and coming from outside, it's like, oh, well, why would I use AI, right? It's completely against what I do and being a creator. But at the end of the day, there are certain ways that you can use it that remain in line with your values as a creative, right?
Yeah.
And another important thing to remember is that you can use it, you cannot use it, but if you're not using it, somebody else is using it, and they're gonna get ahead of you. You just have to adjust.
Yeah.
You know?
The way I like to like kind of think about that question, it's like the .com bubble. Like when internet wasn't a thing, it's like, oh, the internet now, and it's like so many people hated on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, you can't do that. You can't do, like, I'm gonna sell stuff online. Like what do you mean? You know, like,
yeah.
And it's like,
I wanted to bring that up. It's like I'm still from the generation where, you know, Nintendo 64 3D graphics was first coming out. And it's like, what are all these polygons? Whoa. And like the closest thing we had to AI was like a Motorola flip phone with like Brick Breaker on it.
Yo.
And it's like, yo, like
the flip phone
when did
era
we get
was
away from keyboards, you know? I
Yeah.
remember the first iPhone coming out. Forget internet. Like, you know, we were born right when the cusp of that started to happen. So it moves so fast. I think the biggest resistance will be from anyone who didn't grow up like having the kinesthetic computer in their hands and seeing the different evolutions and being invested in like the social media landscape and being comfortable with like having a personal relationship with electronics.
Yeah.
I think AI, the resistance to AI and having a relationship with it, whether it's task-based or whether it's creative or pleasure-based, is very much like the barrier to that is your own relationship with technology.
100%.
Yeah.
And seeing it as something that's not going to terminate or to us, but that's going to help streamline us
It's a tool
to build and innovate further.
It's a tool.
Yeah, we're witnessing an evolution within our industry, right? I don't think our industry is dying by any means. It's going through an evolution. Things are changing. Adapt early. You know, like you were saying for the .com, when the internet started off, right? The people who adopted it and learned it early on got ahead.
And they're the ones who are successful today.
Exactly. Larger components of the industry that might suffer is like animation work, animation and asset work, first and foremost, and for anything, you know.
We didn't get to talk about narrative.
That's true.
I'm sure we have a lot to say.
We'll have to do a follow-up.
But this is the end of our episode today. If you guys really want to see that episode, let us know in the comments.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come.
We're going to talk about how AI is copying the faces of all of our favorite actors and actresses and taking all their jobs away.
Lucky we'll get to
I could talk about that for a while.
Stay tuned.
This whole podcast is AI. We're not real.
But yeah, if you like the episode, make sure to leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed. Notifications. And
tell us what AI tools that you use or that we should take a look at.
Yes, absolutely. If you have recommendations, we'd love to know.
Let us know if AI is taking your job.
Yeah.
We got to get on board too. Like, we got to get saved too, guys. All right, see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.